What up, what up? It's Joe. Welcome back to a new review. Today, we're going to be looking at the comeback compilation of this sub-label of Borgore's Fresh Blood with a Royal Blood compilation. So for those who are new, I'm going to be talking a little about every single track from start to finish, maybe some moves after, but other than that, let's just get right into this shit. Starting with Borgore, Hekler, and T-Wayne with Moshpit. So the intro's good. I like the guitars paired with the stompy dubstep drums, that adventurous melody, and T-Wayne's rapping, which comes in a little later. As for the drop, it's decent, stompy but sort of hollow sounding, straightforward. The sustain that comes in is plain but works, I guess. Second drop variation with the same flow. The song as a whole is tolerable. It isn't great, but it's listenable. I prefer Ratata much more over this though. The pitch movement was cool. Next up is Mantis and Code P with Burn. So I'm pretty sure I've heard this ID on one of Code's mixes from years ago because I remember this drop, but I can't remember from where exactly. Anyway, nice metal intro, interesting snare, and the drops are stompy. Of course it's heavy, this is Code and Mantis we're talking about. And it's also straightforward as hell. Don't really listen to Mantis, so I don't exactly know how he incorporated to this tune, but the final product is nasty for sure, so big up. This pattern is crazy. Hall with Nightlight. So Hall's leveled up once again. If y'all want to check out my live reaction to this tune, head over to my Black Hole Chapter 5 video. Gritty, grisly, thick sub-bass pulsing down below. Typical Hall, but this delivery is so all over the place. Not to mention the hypnotizing intro, midsection, and outro. Just all around crazy tune. Oof. Oh, bro, okay. A Sora with Waiting. Pretty intro, solid, kind of exotic trap beat layered with some really nice singing. As for the drop, the fake out kind of reminds me of Crusade by the main men, Marshmallow and Sudden Death. Notes announcing themselves in a grandiose fashion. This is followed by a gritty, seething, melodic rhythm that ends abruptly, making room for a more rapid-firing second drop. Also, this ravey ARP section plays out in the midsection, giving off a voyaging feel. And this final drop comes in more potent and energetic than the last two before again halting as the track fades out into nothingness. Overall, I was satisfied with this tune, and its recurring motif is really nice. It's pretty. Tryple and Eater, Surrender. Tribal hypnotizing intro opening, I guess, to the song. Drop is squelching in the upper register. Love the reverb work and the spooky fluttery sustain that comes in later on. The other two drops here are wackier and have more going on. The second more or less sticking to the first drop sound design, and the third introducing this pinprick ARP-like delivery. That works with all the layering in the back. It's kind of short though. Solid tune nonetheless is solid. That wub is cool too. Fills are just in this. What the fuck is this? Octane, Dispersion system. Minimal brassy intro, simple rhythm structure in the drops with some cool fills. I'm not the biggest fan of producers using that ringing sustain bass. I hear it so much than I really want to, but it's put to decent use here, and I don't mind it that much. This final drop has more melodic overtones than the first two, and the synths do their own thing instead of just hitting on every other beat. Sub-movement is also noticeably good, and there's just a minute of silence in the back end of this tune. Don't know why, it must have been a mistake. Whew. The detours are nice. Cyclops, Space Ghost. This intro has like a haunted house feel to it, looking at the note progression. As for the drop, it's shrill, squelchy in a way. The fills are wild, which I like. And the main ideas aren't bad, but they're not really wowing me. Second drop's fake out is cool, and the delivery slightly more enticing, but still not really getting to me enough, so. That sustain gets harsh on the ears the more you listen to it. The tone of the synths here is nice. It's decent. Artix, Laberinto. The thing about this track is I like the fast sub and some of the rhythm stabs that shoot at you, but the ideas are pretty plain in my opinion. The drops get more inventive towards the end though, but still, yeah, not sure about this one. I feel like the main thing going for it is the somber intro, which is enjoyable, but not much else that stand out that I can really talk about. This gets really tedious after a point. Sora, Luna. I always appreciate dreamy intros, and this tune's intro isn't an exception. As for the drops, they're decent. The sample chopping and fills I actually like more than the main ideas. Sound design, I can't say it's generic or bland, stretchy bouncy sounds. This is the type of tune that would get me hyped at a show maybe, doubled with something, but just listening to it alone in my room, I don't know. This is nice. Evilnoiz, Cave. Like the voyaging, adventurous, and ominous feel of the intro. As for the drop, it's aware of itself, metallic bits being complemented with squelchiness and jumpy note placement to go with it. Second drop is more down there, straightened out, murky. The flow gets pretty nice towards the end too. It's not crazy, but it's not a bad tune. That flow is unique, though. Really elongated outro, which I appreciate too. And it's cool. Grand. Alright, next up is Skybreak and Christian Hayward with Loveless. Love the chords at the beginning of this song, but the singing is alright. Not really that interesting, in my opinion. Really bubbly melodic rhythm drops, reflective and full, brimming with life and personality. Futuristic as well, especially during that second drop where the sound design is just so drawn out, fluttery and glitchy. This tune is a vibe. Great work. One of my favorites. The pronunciation of those, it gets better too. Oh, that is beautiful. Fugitives, wrecked. Another case where the main idea sound design isn't that interesting to me, but everything surrounding it isn't bad. The sub movement, the drums doing their own thing, fills jumping out at you. Here and there, the rising delivery is my favorite part of the tune since the flow switch up is very noticeable. Like the offset stabs in the build up as well, that are also put forth in the drop with some glitchy noises in the back. Only these two sounds, I believe, with a couple potent fills, make for an interesting set of drops. Crazy sub movement on display as well. Catchy rhythm tune. The delay work is on point too. Ooh. Next up is Decimate and Animvl with Head Chop. Alright, so if y'all agreed with me on the sustain being harsh on the ears on that other track, then it's best you turn your speakers down with this track. I mean, the sounds and flow of the synths is nice, but it's so overly shrill and grating. Plus, they're not even all that bodied, no sense of weight or roundedness to them. The sample chopping in the midsection is tight, but when it comes to the drops, it's hard to form any sort of thoughts on the music when it's so unpleasant on the ears. Missed opportunity in my opinion. I might just open up Logic and cut off the high end here so I can listen to this properly. I guess the sub is cool too, but okay, nah bro. Tiigers, the kill. The trap rap intro at the beginning of this tune I like, but the sample is way too loud and annoying and sort of edgy in my opinion. Some potent synths on display with this first drop, even though it gets cut short to make room for this kind of unnecessary build-up. Similar sound design and flow switch up with the sounds that come in after, but another drop just cut short. I can't properly get into these drops if they're so brief, especially if they're not really making a statement. The last drop or drops, to be honest, I don't know if these are supposed to be one or two drops, like as a pair. Those are slightly more flavorful and interesting, but the way they're cut short is so sudden and it takes you out of the flow of the song. I don't know, sound design was okay, but yeah, not gonna be going back to it. I guess the fills are cool from the first drop, or first half of a drop. Mighty Duck, guess who's back? This is also okay. Still not blowing my mind. Really like the tribal evil feel of this intro. As for the four drops, stretchy glossy sound design on display. The flow isn't all that though. It sounds like the end synths are being chopped off. Don't have much to say about this one because nothing really stands out in my opinion, positive or negative. Alright, next up is Haunta with Lose It. Not much to say on this one. Glossy, glitchy drops here, more flavorful fills and sub-movement like the last track. Second drop is slightly less energetic and more straightforward, but still cool, so this this tune is pretty good. It's not crazy or anything like the majority of this, but I guess you can listen to it. Ooh. The more I listen to this, the more I get into it, to be honest. Ooh, that 808. Okay, the Sausages with Heartburn. This one is interesting. Beepy, blippy sound design on display like a lot of the tracks on this comp, but executed significantly better with the sub movement and layering and patterns. Second drop's fake out is more straightforward and rapid. Yeah, I was vibing hard to this one. It does what I wanted a lot of the other tracks to do that incorporate this sort of style. That's good, that's good. Viperactive, Hookup. This is one of the most effortless transitions from intro to build up to drop. Some of y'all might know I usually don't like producers previewing drop sounds in the intro or build up, but this was so smooth. Yeah, the drop is melodic and beepy. I'm saying beepy and blippy way too damn often, but there's no other way to describe this sort of sound design that appears so often on this comp. Minimal layering in the back to keep the mix from sounding too empty, I guess. Midsection is really pretty, actually. Fat trap drums complement the sounds nicely as well. Like this one a lot. Oh. Again, the fills are nice. Blaize, be prepared. Minimal evil intro coming in at first before this tune cascades into this shrill, painful sounding rhythm. The drums feel like they're spatially so much deeper in the mix than the synths are, but I like that actually. Solid selection of sounds on display. Pretty much enjoyed this one. Again, not bad. In the midst of these 27 tunes, I forgot how much I like this one. Demoneyez and Baerli with ClanXXX. What an intro. Washed out, trippy, hypnotizing. Go and listen to this track and see what's so good about it. As for the drop, solid motherfucking machine gun flow with some squelches of sound design in between. Love how the synths pitch down at points. Second drop is more straightforward than the first, but still had me interested. And this final drop is stompier, but has more toned down delivery. Definitely a highlight on this comp. Nosphere and MSF, Blood Cycle. Tune starts off great with possibly one of the most attention-grabbing intros on this comp. Guitar plucks ringing out every so often. Drop showcases a decent blend of shrill, robotic sustain basses and grimy rhythm stabs, bouncing off each other sometimes, but more or less mostly working as one. Tone of the synths is nice too, but the delivery isn't all too standout. The jumpy fills kinda help out with that though. Not a bad tune. Severe, Red Stripe. This is just rhythm. Variation is cool, the background is devoid of any sounds to fill it out, not that it needs any. Tune is kinda low energy, but nice to chill to. I found myself just calmly taking this in. These drops are a little too similar though. He could have changed this up a little more, but other than that, it's cool. I like how the song's vibe is completely different than the others, mainly because of the emptiness of the mix, I'm guessing. It's just low key and, like I said, chill. Disconnect, Corrupt. Another tight intro and build up. The drop that follows is similar to the Cyclops tune, but way more straightforward. Again, not all that standout in my opinion. I don't mind it, but it's not impressing me. Second part of the drop switches it up a little, introducing more sounds and flows to go with them. Second drop synths are a little more appealing, the ones that sit in this haze of sustained bass and the ones after. I feel like they have more movement to them. Another decent tune. Wasn't wowing me much, but yeah. Next TARS, Error 403. Like the forceful pinprick synths in the first drop and the sub-movement complemented with those fuzzy basses in the second drop, and that vocal sampling is tight. Love the moody pumping midsection. Overall, solid. Cape, Calling. This track starts off with like a tropical bass house intro with this vocal over it, which isn't bad. The drops are pretty brief and ordinary in terms of sound design and delivery. Reminds me a lot of some 2017, 2018 mainstream dubstep. There's a little color and flavor shining out though that reveals itself some more in the second drop, but other than that, this tune doesn't stand out to me that much. It's okay. It's probably the best part of the whole track. Alright, second to last tune, Crimson Scar and Brain Palace, Unseen. Mesmerizing vocals opening up the track layered with this insane breakbeat. Really guttural, visceral basses opening up this first drop, followed by these seething, shrill sustains that are so unnerving. Second drop, the delivery is packed into this trance format, I'm guessing, which is so pleasing, with that punchy kick just steadily in your face. Another strong collab from this duo. Damn! Final track, Stallion's Juice Cake. Arpy adventurous intro and midsection, squelchy dirty synths and the drops. The variation is solid. As soon as I thought I was gonna get tired of the patterns or sounds, a switch up came in. The basses really start bouncing off of each other eventually, which I like. Hybrid trap detour in the second drop, a bit more straightforward, but I appreciate it. I was waiting for the track to kind of switch up like in the first drop, but the tune ends shortly after, so kind of disappointing, but not too bad. This tune felt very short, but there's a lot I enjoyed about it. Ooh, that's a cool 808. And that was the track rundown. I felt like the bulk of this sound design on this compilation tries to be new age, blippy beepy, and somewhat succeeds in doing that, but that type of style has to be executed really well for me to enjoy a track. Let's compare this to Disciple Alliance 6 for a minute. I felt like quality-wise, this was better. Don't get me wrong, but with the Disciple Alliance tunes, you can clearly tell the stylistic differences. On this one, I felt like I was listening to more or less the same song over and over again for a majority of the compilation. I don't think I outright disliked a single song on here, but a large chunk of this compilation either gets tedious and isn't interesting or just doesn't resonate with me all that much. Still, I guess objectively there was a lot of music on here that was good, but there's a lot of filler in here. And just because it's a comeback compilation doesn't mean that Fresh Blood had to like really oversaturate this comp. I guess some people enjoy it, and that's what's important, isn't it? This has been your boy Joe. Thank you for watching my review. This is probably going to be around 20 to 25 minutes. I've been recording for almost 50 now. Drop your opinions in the comment section below. I'd love to hear them, especially on this comp, this long ass comp. And I will see y'all soon, maybe tomorrow. Peace out.